Okay, I think we've got everyone that's going to join, so we can go ahead and get started. And Carolyn, it looks like you're actually the only person that hopped on so far. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute you or allow you to talk, and we'll go through the agenda and touch on the new features, and then just let me know if you have any questions as we go through it. Okay,
Great, thank you.
absolutely. Cool. So today we're going to be touching on a couple new features that have already been released and are on the docket to be released soon. So specifically, we're going to be talking through, we have an integration with this company called Parler, which just allows us to gather feedback a lot more easily and makes it easier for our customers to submit that feedback. We'll also touch on a new COGS report that's going to be coming out. So that includes cannabis COGS, so your cannabis products that are tracked in Canix, as well as any non-cannabis products. So that includes non-cannabis inventory and recipes. And then we also have a new feature of being able to add lab test URLs to your labels. So that's basically just a QR code image that you can put onto your labels that will link directly to the test results. And then we'll move on to printing custom labels to PDF. So recently we made some changes to the way that we print labels from Canix, including this PDF option. So instead of downloading a bunch of drivers and different kinds of software to print to your printer, you can just download the PDF and print directly to it. And then the last couple of things we'll touch on are auto-allocate packages on sales orders, and then the universal or global tag search.
Cool.
All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So like I said, the first thing we're going to touch on is the new way to submit feedback. So previously, the way that we would gather feedback from our customers would be to enter a request via support. So this little window here is still going to remain for support questions or issues you may be having in the platform. So you can either search through our help desk, right? Get in touch by just leaving us a message or calling us. And like I said previously, this included any feature requests or insights that our customers might have. What we've added now is this option over here on the left under feedback. So if we click into this, you can see it's a little bit more robust, and this is specifically for announcements that we want to send to our customers. So you can see we've got some product updates here. And then also this is where where you'll be able to submit feedback. So that includes, enhancements in the product or, a feature that might be missing that you want to see. It's super easy to use. So again, you have the announcements here, and you can click into those and see new announcements and previous announcements as well. And then the most important thing here is the ability to send feedback. So we can click that send feedback and then either request a feature or never mind, so you can close that out. And it's super straightforward. You can submit a request, put in the title here, and then a brief description, giving as much information as you can, just so we get that full context. And then you can also choose to chat. So it'll send us a message and say, you have a question about something. Maybe there's a feature that you want that you're not sure exists. You can ask that question there and kind of start that conversation. And then once those pieces of feedback are submitted, so again, you can have as many pieces of feedback, as many submissions as you want. And those will actually save here under the My Request tab. So you can see I've got a couple already set in my user. So I've got the ability to change Canix theme and then Canix merch. And in addition to viewing all of these individual feedback requests, you can also prioritize them individually. So you can either click into messages here, or so you can see here I've got a message that I sent to myself previously. So you send in the feedback, and then if you can ask for a message back, and we can kind of, like I said, continue that conversation there. And then additionally, you can click edit, and you can edit the request itself if you need to.
What's your usual turnaround time for a just like a simple question?
Yeah, so if it's a question related to the product, then I would use support to get that question answered. But if there's something like, can you add this or something like that, then you can use the feedback. And depending on really depending on if it's something that can be applied to all customers, kind of dictates the roadmap. So as many pieces of feedback as you can, because we consider those kind of votes. Like if there's one thing that people are requesting a lot, that'll get moved up in the timeline. So it really depends on, the priority, if it's crucial for your business, is it a nice to have, is it a need to have? It kind of is based on that. Yeah.
Do you have your own development team or is this outsourced? Because
We do. Yep.
seems like you
All
do
internal.
things really, really quickly for your
Yes.
customers. So I'm guessing you're not going to some, programming farm.
Yeah, absolutely. We pride ourselves in being engineer focused for sure, and product. That's why this feedback tool is so important to us, because again, it kind of takes out the step of going through support, and then support kind of filtering out to the product team, and then therefore the engineering team. Obviously, with this feedback tool, goes directly to the product team without that first touch, and then the product team then kind of filters it out to the engineers, roadmap, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you can imagine, as you have more pieces of feedback entered, maybe the priority shifts, you find something that's actually a little bit more important, you can always update the priority. So depending on how many you have here, you can put lower priority, first, second, and third priority. So again, totally up to you how you want to prioritize it. And again, if it applies to everybody and it's something that, maybe we hadn't thought of or was already on the roadmap, we'll let you know as well. Perfect. Any questions on that?
No, I'm good on that. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So the next thing I want to touch on here is the COGS report. So this is a report that's still in development. I'm going to pull it up here. So I'm going to go into reporting, accounting, and then COGS report.
And what does COGS stand for?
Cost of goods sold.
I love it. Thank you. Not a salesperson or a billing person. So.
No worries.
Thanks.
Yeah. So basically, it's on an incoming transfer, you purchase products from maybe a distributor or from a cultivator, depending on if you're a processor, whatever. And then that comes in with a set price that you paid for it, and then that price is attached to the initial package. And then as that's split off, so if you bulk flour is purchased and then you split it off into eighths, that COGS flows through until that product is sold. And then it just helps calculate the cost of goods sold at the end there. Yeah, so that's helpful and this is something that a lot of our customers have been asking for, specifically, tying cannabis and non-cannabis inventory COGS together. And then this labor COGS, that's going to be pulled from our task management. And task management is something we'll touch on as well towards the end of the call, but really it's just calculating, I have this one unit of product, how much did it cost me to sell that? That's essentially what it is.
Right on.
So this report just kind of tracks all that. You can do it month by month. It's super useful. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. So yeah, absolutely. And the next thing I want to touch on is going to be the lab test URLs on labels. So what I can do here, let me click over to my other account here real quick. And what I can do here, let me pull up a tag number. And maybe I don't have one here. Oh, let me go to inventory, packages. So this is useful because a lot of our customers, when they sell a product, you have your Canix labels, and you can add a QR code to the labels that will be included on the label whenever it's sold to your customers. And some customers prefer to have a way to see the test results in whole. So they're going to be attached with the invoice and sent, in a physical piece of paper. But in addition, on the label itself, if they just want to pull up those test results on their phone, you can add the lab test URL here, and that's just going to generate a QR code that you can then add to the label. So it just makes it super simple to scan, open up the test results of that specific package for your customers to see. And that's going to show up here on the label itself. So if I go to actions here and then print label, like a print label for that 0420 tag. And that's going to open up our custom labels module here. And this is actually a good segue into the print PDF option. So previously, we only had the printer print mode here. And what this consists of is you would need to, the initial setup is kind of complicated. So you have to download this QZ tray and then follow these instructions to print in RAW format. So if I open this, you can see there's a lot of steps, depending on if you're on a Mac or Windows, in order to print directly to your printer. So to mitigate those extra steps, we now have the option to print directly to PDF, which is much simpler. Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen the custom labels module before, but the way that this works is you have a tag number, right? In this case, I have a package, and I've got some user-generated templates here that have already been created. So I can choose from one of those, right? And it's going to generate all the information respective to this tag number. So you can see like the license, package date, and there's our QR code. So if I were to scan that, it's going to take me to the website that I added to the package itself, which again, is typically going to be test results related to that specific package. And then in addition, so if there's not a template here that you like, you can always create your own, and you can always update and edit each of the elements on the label itself. So you can add like CBD versus CBN, the harvest that they came from, all kinds of information that you can use to customize these labels. And then once that's complete, once you have all the information on here that you want, it's just a matter with that PDF option set. All I need to do is click print, and that's going to open up my print dialog. I mean, depending on the way your browser is set up, it'll either download the PDF or it'll open it up in a new page. And either way, it's going to take you to the same place. And then from here, it's just a matter of printing to whatever printer you have. And you can see all the information that we already entered on there. So much easier, much faster than, like I said, that initial setup of, downloading QZ tray, following the steps to get through it. A much simpler process.
Can I put a graphic on there, like my logo or something?
Yeah, good question. So
Thank you.
We are limited to the options here that we see here. So there's, tons of selections, checkboxes, and then you can also add in your company logo. So if I were to upload here, I don't think I have anything in my computer that I could use as an example.
Keep it clean, Victor.
Yeah, this is a new computer.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You had to burn the other one, did you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mostly it's like pictures of that we use in Slack, like Slack emojis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think I have one here. Let's use this one. Yeah, perfect. So you can see the logo there, a little frog. But that could be a company logo, and then you can also add free text fields. So
nice.
Yeah, so these will be saved with the template itself, right? So I could set the free text field. Sometimes it's like a warning, right? May cause, reproductive harm, things like that. You can add that to that free text field and then save that with the template. And each time you select that template, it's going to include that text field and then all of the other options that we selected.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't have to call anybody to set up my labels and crystal reports or anything.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Label, and I don't like dealing with printers as much as the next guy. I promise. This makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions on that?
No, we're good on that too.
Awesome. All right. So the next thing I want to touch on is auto-allocate packages in sales orders. So let me see if this is loading. I was having some issues loading this page earlier. Let's see if we're still having issues. If not, I can switch over. Yeah, let's go ahead and change over to our Canix CA. So the way that the auto-allocate packages work, so just generally speaking with sales orders, let's go ahead and start with a fresh one here. So when I'm creating an invoice or sales order for the first time, the first thing I'm going to do is select the customer. So in this case, I'll just use this Stacy, distributor A. and then I'm going to search for the products that I want to add. So I've got some grapes of wrath trim that I can add. And you can see this is just a list of all of our active inventory, along with the quantities associated with them. And this is my demo account that's shared with a ton of other people. So there's some kind of goofy data in here.
Oh, yeah, but that's no worries.
Yeah. But I can filter down to find exactly what I'm looking for. And so if I choose that grapes of wrath trim, I can see that I have 60 pounds available here. And I can just add in the pricing as well. And then I would just fill out the rest of the remaining fields here. So delivery date, cultivation or excise tax, if that applies, payment term, set it to COD. And then obviously I can continue adding other products if I want to. Let's see if I have anything else here. I think it's all. Let's try this one. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And let's just see that one as an example as well. So again, just adding as many products as we're selling to our customer. And then once that's set, we can click create. And so what that does is we didn't adjust our inventory in any way. We just reserved that inventory. So you can see this was 60 pounds before, and now that I've added a pound to this, it's now deducted to 59. So if another salesperson creates another sales order, that's the number they're going to see, because that 1 pound has already been reserved.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so the next step, so it could be, you generate the invoice here, same thing as before. You can upload your facility logo, download the invoice. It's going to have all the standard information on there. Who are you selling it to? How much are you selling it for? And then the auto allocate feature comes in handy because, again, even though we've created the sales order, we haven't affected our packages or inventory in any way. Because keep in mind, whenever you split off from an existing package, you're creating a new package and therefore creating a new package tag. And so from here, I may not have a package already created of just 1 pound or just 1 gram in this case. So I can either utilize, so this is the way that it worked before, I could do it one by one, split off from this existing package, do all that stuff manually. With the auto allocate, I can click the little icon here and auto allocate all the packages on the sales order automatically. And what that does is it pulls from your earliest package. So it's kind of a first in, first out method. It pulls from the earliest package and then automatically creates the package tag for that package. It looks like this one's being goofy, so let me just get rid of that. But you can see here, I auto allocated this, and I can see this new package tag for 619, and I'm going to be left with 59 pounds in my original source tag 086. So you can see how this would come in handy, especially if you have a sales order with a ton of items on it. Instead of clicking in individually and saying split from this package, create this new one, split from this one, create this one. Use that auto allocate, and then Canix does the work for you, and then it's just a matter of reviewing those packages. So once the auto allocate's complete, I click review new packages, and it's going to show me all the details. So here's the new package, here's where it came from, here's what's going to be left. And Carolyn, are you, what state do you operate in?
I am in Oklahoma.
Okay, perfect. And what company are you with?
I am with Strain Farms.
Okay.
Strain Farms, JB Strain.
Gotcha. Okay. And are you guys converted over to metric yet?
I don't know if you've heard or not, but we've had a 60-day stay of execution on metric.
We have heard.
So I have not converted them over yet. I have other grow clients they've received their tags because, we made sure we ordered them in time, but
sure.
So we haven't started tagging anything, no plants, no packages, nothing until we have to.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, and that's the route a lot of our customers are taking, actually, just because, in those 60 days, you're spending money on tags, and that's money that's, not necessarily wasted because you are compliant, but at the same time, it's not technically necessary for another 60 days. So totally
Right,
understandable.
exactly. Because I know a lot of, originally from New York,
Hmm.
and Oklahoma reminds me a little bit of New York because they were like, Metric's coming to town. When did that happen? Right? They're like, that's
Yeah.
legislation by, like, oh, what did he call it? Legislation by text message or something. And so there, I
Yeah.
mean, it says in the statute that the OMMA is supposed to pay for track and trace.
Ah,
So the
interesting.
OMMA, which is run by the Department of Health, has been
Yep.
spending they've been spending all the cannabis tax money on getting new offices and redecorating their old ones.
Oh no. Oh
Hmm.
no.
And so Metric is going to do, so OMA wants Metric to do their job, OMA's
Hmm.
job, and then they're also going to be collecting money. So the money that they're collecting now is supposed to go
Jeez.
to seed, and it's just a one. So I'm from New York, and you try to pull that stuff in New York, and people will be like,
Yeah, no way.
You know, other states, others. I mean, Missouri was like, nah, tags, nah, I don't think so. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just trying to help my clients the best I can. You know,
Absolutely.
I got people using Cultivera. I got people using Seed Sweet. I got people using Canix, and everybody. I mean, last week was like crazy.
Oh yeah.
And
And it's interesting because they put in the 60-day extension the day of, or I think it was the day before,
the
and
day
it was like
before,
at the
yeah.
end of the day.
Yep. Yep. Oh, I was just, I'm just hanging out, waiting to see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, just send in your OMA reports. Be
Yeah.
compliant that way. Tag what you got to tag with whatever tagging method you're using.
Yep.
Excuse me, and let's go for it. But one of the things that I'm particularly interested in for my client is the online selling, the marketplace.
Okay.
If you guys ever do anything like that.
Yeah, we do have a live inventory that's still in beta right now, and I can show it to you as well. We can touch on that a little bit as well.
Do you have any customers helping you with the beta testing?
We do have a few, but we're always wanting to add more. So if you have a couple in mind, happy to add them to it or send the sign up sheet.
Yeah, I know that Strain Farms would be interested in doing it because that's one of the features that, for example, we were looking at LeafLink, we were looking at GoGo Cannabis, we were looking at all these different marketplaces that are designed for cannabis sales. But we thought, wouldn't it be nice if you had something like Cultivera has an open marketplace where you could send
Hmm.
people links and stuff like that, and that's what he wants for Canix.
Awesome. Yeah, happy to send over information about that, about the beta program, and get them on there.
Excellent. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Perfect. So now that we have that package, we would just submit that, and that's going to submit and create that new package, and then we're all done. Then from there, it's just a matter of saving it and then creating the transfer from there. And that transfer is just going to be calculated or auto-filled, based on previous information that was entered.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it's just the customer name and the date for the transfer name. And the destination facility is typically tied to the customer. It doesn't look like we have one here for this customer, but we can just choose one of these. But yeah, once you create the transfer for the first time, or when you create the transfer for the first time, you may have to enter this information, but then Canix is going to remember that moving forward. And then once you verify the information is correct, just a matter of clicking create and then sending that manifest or downloading the manifest.
And off they go.
Exactly. Perfect. And before we jump into live inventory, or storefront is what we're calling it.
Oh, storefront. Okay.
Yeah. I do want to show you this tag search. So in the little search icon here at the bottom, you can search, you can go directly to, a place in Canix. So if you want to look at your vegetative plants or like flowering plants and you don't want to navigate the search bar, you can search for it here.
Nice.
Yeah. And then you can also, what we recently added was the ability to search for tag numbers. So I can just type in the last four of a tag. And obviously I have quite a few licenses here, but like this is the one I'm looking for, and I can click go to tag and then find exactly where it is. Because what we run into is, there's a few options, a few different menus as far as packages. You can see your active, which is everything, unallocated versus allocated. So what we just did on the sales order when we created that new package, we were allocating the package to that sales item. So anything that's allocated to a sales order will show up there, and then transferred packages. So once the manifest is created and sent out, they get moved over to the transferred tab. So you can see sometimes it gets a little difficult to find a specific tag you're looking for without having to click into different menus.
Yeah, that's kind of I usually have several tabs open because I have to do that. And every time I go hit the back button, everything disappears. So I just open multiple tabs of the same instance.
Yep,
So
I do the same thing. Yeah.
That's a nice little feature to have.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. So let me show you the storefront. So there's a couple ways, or one place we want to start here. Let me make sure I'm in the right license. Yeah, that should be good. So where am I here? There we go. So we have, first off, the listing management. So I only have a few items here for now, but you can add new items just by marking them as available in our active packages. And there's also a setting you can configure in Canix to mark any packages that have a test result of passed as automatically available.
Okay.
But if we need to make them available, we can click into this, and you can see the lab test URL we went through before, and then we can mark that as available here. So we can toggle the availability, and then that's going to add it to our listing, to that listing management page. And then from here, we can click into the product, and very basic for now. Again, it is in beta, so part of this is going to be to gather that feedback for our customers that are actually using it. And so you'd enter in the display name, the description of the product, enable it, and then you can upload the photo as well. Let me see, I think I have one here. Yeah, and then you can upload the photo, update the description. And then from here, we can go to our shop. So this is the shop configuration. So it's tied to one license, one shop at a time. And then you can give that shop a name, set the password, and then update the URL.
So for example, Strain Farms has a grow license and they have a processing license.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm hard candies, for example, excuse me, lollipops, things like that. If we decide to make those, I could actually have those. Is it in the same instance that I could have products from both licenses, I guess is my question.
It would be, for now, it's one license, one shop per license. So you'd have your wholesale for cultivation, yep, and then the finished goods for the processing.
Excellent. That'll keep them nice and separate. Nothing will be mixed up.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me show you what it looks like. And again, this is very basic for now because it is still in beta, but definitely something we're wanting to build out. So I'm just going to copy in that URL. And this is password protected. I'm already logged in, but you would just share that password with your customers and then only they can access it.
Can they do any editing if I give them my password?
No, it'll just bring them directly to this link, or they would just go directly to this link.
So it's like a temporary password or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So you can see, different categories, flower, leaf, buds, and this is specific to what categories are available. And this is tied to the item type. So let me click over here and show you what I mean. So with these products, so in our listing management, that Spring Hill Kush, the item type itself, if we go into facility data, let me find that here. The item type is, in most cases, pulled from metric, but it's a static list. So you guys are going to see the same item types on your side as we're seeing here. So let me find my Spring Hill Kush. It's this one. And you can see the item type is flower. So that's the category that it falls into. So it's automatically going to split those out. And that's what we're
Nice.
seeing here, flower, leaf, and buds. And then if you click in each of these, you can go into the details. This one doesn't have too much information, and not a picture either, but you can enter in, how much do you want to buy, enter in, and then add that to the cart.
And how do they make payment?
Yeah, so it's going to be the same. So basically the way that it works is once they have all their information here, then they would click checkout. And then they would enter their information here, and then that's going to tie to an existing sale or existing customer in your Canix platform. And it will come in as a pending sales order. Yep.
Great. Love it.
Yeah. So that process we went through when we were auto allocating those packages, where I selected the customer and then the item, it would just come in already in that state. It would have the items they selected, the quantities, and then you just update the pricing and go through the process of allocating and then shipping out.
Excellent. Very nice.
Yeah. Cool. And that's really it as it stands today. Like I said, it is still in beta, but the feedback is going to be invaluable, especially since you guys have been shopping around already, what you're looking for and kind of what you want. So I'm definitely eager to get Strain Farms and you on the beta program so you guys can play around with it with your own inventory.
Yeah. Oh, here's a question for you. Do you take a percentage of sales?
We don't. Nope.
Ah, okay.
I believe, let me confirm with the team. I believe it is an extra fee on top of the contract, but I could be wrong.
Well, it's probably a processing fee, right? For e-commerce.
Not even that. It's really just like basically an additional module on the contract.
Oh, I got you.
So it would just be, yeah. And I believe that's the case. We may be waiving it for beta customers, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
I won't. Are you in California, Victor?
I am. Yep.
Whereabouts?
On the East Bay, in the Bay Area.
Oh, nice. We lived in Santa Rosa for a while.
Oh, nice.
And we lived in Sebastopol for a while.
Oh my God, I loved Sebastopol. I grew up in Arkansas, and Sebastopol reminds me of Arkansas, actually.
Really? Yeah. I should get my butt to Arkansas then.
Yeah. I've been in cannabis software for about 4.5 years now, and I drove up to Santa Rosa, Sebastopol, Emerald Triangle all the time. And awesome. I just love going through there. Yeah, it makes me homesick.
Aww.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for all the information.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I recorded this as well.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'll follow up with you with the recording of this call, and then I'll get the contact information from you for Strain Farms, and then we can continue conversation I'll send you the documentation for the beta program that you guys signed up there.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. You have a wonderful afternoon.
Absolutely. You too, Carolyn. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. Bye.